Okay, how's everybody doing today? My name is Kent, and let me see if I can take this slide down just a little bit. There we go. That looks a little better. So, what is today? September 4th, 2:31 in San Diego, California, 2:31 in the afternoon. I just got through making a video. Let me make sure I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. I got through making a video on the beach. You're seeing the beach in the background there. The title of that video is 50 Years of Petro Dominance is Over. What's next? Maybe Bitcoin. So, if you watch that video, basically what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the fact that right now we are in very uncharted waters because we are lowering interest rates, trying to lower interest rates. Jerome Powell says he's going to lower interest rates while the stock market's at all-time highs. Unemployment doesn't seem to be very high right now. In fact, it's very low. And inflation is very high. So we have the combination of not raising interest rates, but probably lower, maybe raising interest rates, not lowering, but we're lowering. And the only reason that they're lowering interest rates is because they feel the economy's in trouble. So when all these things, indicators, are indicating that they should be raising interest rates instead of lowering interest rates, people can't afford things because they need a cheaper interest in order to borrow and afford things because of the inflation keeps making prices go a lot higher. So I made a video about that. And I'm saying, hey, what's next? What's after the petrodollar? Because the system's all messed up. Are we going to go to Bitcoin? Maybe have Bitcoin back to dollar. Sorry about the trains. Living here in Southern California, you always got a train going past your door, especially if you live close to the coast. So let's go to back to dollar, because in the beginning, Federal Reserve 1913, we had gold all the way up to 71. Then we have the petrodollar. And now the petrodollar is falling apart. And in fact, it's over with. In fact, I'll show you a little clip to show you how the petrodollar is going away. This is CNBC.
United States. As per reports, the deal was signed on June 8, 1974, but has expired on June 9, 2024, and the Middle East country has not renewed it. Petrodollar is a term used as the US dollar as the currency for global crude oil transactions. The petrodollar system came in after US went off the gold standards. The deal was set up joint commissions for economic cooperation and Saudi Arabia's military needs. In exchange for...
There you go. The petrodollar's over with. So let me see what Bitcoin's doing today. Yeah, Bitcoin's up a little bit. It was diving last night. In fact, I think it got down to around 56,000 last night. So it's up a little bit right now. And, you got El Salvador using Bitcoin as their currency. So, maybe the government buys a bunch of Bitcoin, then we back the dollar with Bitcoin. That's could be possibility. So the other thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about my good buddy, Cryptos R Us. I get a kick out of this guy. If you've ever seen him.
Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George.
Okay, that's all.
So yesterday,
I wanted to play of him. He says that every single video. I'm George. We're all George. I think that's the funniest thing, and it's working for him. He's got 764,000 subscribers, and I think most of his videos do pretty well. How much has this video done? This video's done 30K. So yeah, and it's only been up for 7 hours. This guy's making good money on this YouTube channel. Speaking of YouTube channels, I kind of dove into this one a little bit. Talked about it on that video that I just showed you. So I ran this YouTube channel for quite a few years, probably longer than most people that have been on YouTube. I think 2014, 2015 is when I started getting into YouTube. And I made a lot of videos, probably close to 2,000 videos. Unfortunately, I didn't have good content. Content was on a EOS blockchain. And if you know anything about EOS, you know that didn't work out so well, mainly because some people involved with it, some of the billionaires that were in the background, kind of shady figures, Peter Thiel and Mike Novogratz, they ended up basically, I don't know how much the billion that they put up when it really originally got launched, but they ended up taking the money and buying Bitcoin, and then that ended up making the blockchain not do as well. In fact, it's still going, but not doing as well. So what I've told people is that why I'm trying to build this channel back up, and without very many views and without very many subscribers, although I'm grateful for the subscribers that I have, and I appreciate people staying with me while I try to figure out the angle what I'm taking next. I put some Amazon links down, and I'll show you where they are on this video. These are some Amazon links. I also put them in this video too. So if you would, yesterday I had like 100 people watch these videos and 50 of them clicked on those links. So I guess maybe they're just wanting to see what I picked out from Amazon for you to see. So they were inquisitive enough to click on 50 of those 50 unique people clicked on those links. Nobody purchased anything, but 50 did look at them. So I appreciate that. I've picked out some other things now. Some things less expensive than yesterday. I had a bike on yesterday that was $1,200. So that's a little far reaching. And you get about 3 to 4% on most items with Amazon. So you don't get a very big percentage, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's just that if it's bought from a link, then Amazon kicks it back to the person that sent the person to that page. So these just go to Amazon. If you purchase something, I'd be grateful for it, because like I say, I put a lot of time into this and really haven't reaped much benefit or success or had much happen with it because of the EOS thing. And I still follow EOS. I'm still a big fan of EOS, but it's just that when you have people involved like the billionaire boys that they just want to take all the money without putting anything back. That's what happens. We get burned, and we got burned on that one. But it's still going. If you follow EOS and own EOS, I would just hang on. I still got some EOS, and I'm hanging on too. So we'll just see what happens. So let me see here. Where are we at? This is the second live I've done in quite a while. Ooh, I got a thumbs up already. I'm really excited. 1 thumbs up. Anything that happens, I'm excited about. Everything that happens on this channel, I'm excited about. You know, I really kind of thought for a while that I would quit doing this YouTube channel, simply because, you know, I was kind of buried with EOS, and, you know, I kind of lost my focus with it. But, you know, there are 6,000 subscribers. That's quite a few. And I have put a lot of time into this. So I just, I figured, you know, just try to reinvent yourself, try to find, you know, new content. There's a lot of good content out there too. Bitcoin's a great place to talk about. And of course, the economy is always a good thing to talk about. So I just start focusing on that and trying to build an affiliate network and trying to, you know, keep this thing going as long as I can. Because I think in today's world, you got to build an audience. If you don't have an audience, you're really going to struggle. It's getting more and more difficult to bring in money. You have to have side sources of money. If you don't have you have a primary source, maybe a job or a business or something like that, you need a lot of side things to do too. And I get a big kick out of this. Like I say, anybody who's ever watched my channel knows I grew up on a farm in western Nebraska. I see a lot of these farming businesses. Some of these farmers are turning to YouTube. So they are making YouTube channels, and then they're talking about their farm, and they're showing you what they do on their farm every day. So they're not only farming, they're also building YouTube audiences. And I think that's a good idea. And if I had a business today, any business, an auto repair shop, a drugstore, a department, whatever I had, whatever business I had, I would be doing YouTube videos, and I'd be talking about my business online in the way, you know, I watched this one, and I try to speak a little Spanish every now and then. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? You know, muy bien. Try to talk a little Spanish every now and then. Because we live close to Mexico, and I go down to Mexico quite often. And I get a kick out of this one YouTuber, and all he does, he works at a convenience store, and he puts his camera on the customers, and I think it's in Mexico. And he basically calls them out. So when they come up to buy beer or something like that, he'll say, "What are you buying beer for?" And he'd do it all in Spanish. And he speaks Spanish in a way that I can kind of understand it. So I kind of learned some of my Spanish by listening to that guy's YouTube. And on the same token, he's building an audience, and he's building, you know, a following as working as a convenience store person. You know, normally people work in convenience stores. They wouldn't think, I'm working at a convenience store. What can I do to make some extra money? You know, I'm making $20 an hour. That's what you make here in California if you're working at a convenience store. But, you know, here's this guy. He's probably, I don't know, 5, 10, 15,000 people watching his YouTube videos. He's making money from YouTube. So he's making money as a convenience store worker, and he's also making money as a YouTuber while he's working, which is, I think, a great idea, as long as the people that you're working for don't get a hard idea about it. So if anybody wants to leave a comment or give me something that I can talk about, I'd be happy to do that. In the meantime, I'll just keep going on here like our buddy George does. I get a kick. He ranks really well with so this guy right here. He ranks really well with YouTube algorithm because he always shows up whenever you want to type in something about Bitcoin. but he rambles a lot, and you really don't get much out of his. I don't get much out of his YouTube videos because he'll maybe bring up some stuff and he'll talk. He's kind of a laid back guy, and he'll talk about stuff, but he talks for a long time. Sometimes off topic, sometimes on topic, but usually it's not very focused. So maybe I just start doing what he does, just ramble for a while and see what happens. So, cryptos are us. He's even got a good title. I mean, a good YouTube channel. So I got 2 people watching. Entertained 2 people enough to watch. So I appreciate that. Oh, so I want to talk about what I talked about in the video. The one on the beach. This one right here. That one right there. I want to talk about what I talked about there. Because there is an end game coming. And the end game is that without the petrodollar, meaning the petro, now I went through this in the video. What happened in 1913, the Federal Reserve came into existence, passed by Congress. They were, I guess what you would call them the bank of last resort, the Federal Reserve. You know, when all other banks fail, we go to the Federal Reserve, right? So they're the ones that print the money, and this is where we go when we need money. We go to the Federal Reserve. Although they're not federal and they're not reserve. They're neither. But the original intent of the Federal Reserve was be the lender of last resort. And as the lender of last resort, you know, we would never have these booms and busts like I guess they had during the 1800s and early 1900s. And originally everybody says it was a nefarious, evil, conspiratorial thing. But originally the way the Federal Reserve was set up was actually very sound, which is the dollar was being backed by gold. So every US dollar, every US greenback was also backed by some piece of gold. So you went into a bank, you had a $20 gold piece, double eagle. If you know what those look like, they're really a pretty coin. The St. Gaudens, I think, was one of the coins, double eagle. You give a $20 bill and they give you a $20 piece of gold. So that was backing our currency. And it was stable. And although there were times where individuals couldn't own gold, I think to the FDR years, it took us all the way up to 1971. In 1971, they took us off the gold standard. And at that time, they replaced it with the petrodollar. So we took hard money, which was gold, that was backing the dollar. Pretty stable, all the way up to 71. We took us off the gold standard, and they had to have something to replace the gold. So they used the petrodollar, which is Saudi Arabia, had a lot of oil, in exchange for United States protecting Saudi Arabia and for Saudi Arabia exchanging US dollars for their gold, the only currency you could buy oil in. They would, they had this friendship with them. They were the best friends, best buddies here. And in fact, in 9/11, when the buildings got taken down in New York City, the only planes flying in U.S. airspace were planes that were Saudi Arabian planes. And these trains go through constantly here. So now that this is falling apart, and I just showed you the clip that they're terminating the deal right here. Saudi Arabia to terminate its 50-year petrodollar deal with the United States. They're not going to do this anymore. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive in the United States if nobody holds these dollars? I mean, there's an argument to be made that the U.S. dollar is so entrenched in the world's economies. People want to hold dollars in Argentina. People want to hold dollars in these places around the world where their currencies have crashed. There is so many places where people will hold the dollars that the dollar will never go down, regardless of if it's not being used to buy oil anymore. There's an argument to be made for that. But I will say that this will definitely hurt the currency, and it could possibly crash the currency. So if the currency gets crashed because nobody around the world is holding that dollar anymore, and we just got to keep printing and printing and printing and printing, and it's not being held by Russia. It's not being held by all these other countries that need to buy oil with, Russia has their own oil, but countries that need to buy a lot of oil, China, all these countries need to buy a lot of oil. If they don't need to hold the dollars to buy that oil, that means the more money we print, there's less places that are going to take that money and use it or actually hold it so that we can keep on printing and not have it all ruin our economy. Well, right now it's ruining our economy because there's no place for those dollars to go. The only place for those dollars to go is for us to exchange them in our own economy. And in our own economy, it just drives the prices a lot higher. So everything's getting so expensive. I showed a video a couple of days ago where a house in my town, Carlsbad, California, if it's anywhere close to this beach that I'm showing you right now, you're talking $3 to $4 million, maybe $2-3 million, maybe a cheap one $2 million, expensive one $5 million, $6 million, and some of these houses aren't even worth. I mean, these houses 25, 30 years ago would have been $100,000. Now they're $2 or $3 million. Did the house get better, or did the money get worth less? The money got worth less. Well, this is just continuing to happen over and over and over again. So now that we got $1 million houses that they basically aren't even worth, they can't be lived in. They got to bulldoze them. And the only reason they're $1 million is because of the location. We got that happening a lot here. So it's getting so to the point that everything is so expensive, you can't afford it. And wages aren't going up to make that so you can afford it. So what do you do? What do you do? The economy, the only thing these guys know how to do right now is try to drop interest rates, which I think that's going to be ineffective, especially in the fact that we have so much inflation. So there's got to be something give. If the dollar loses its dominance around the world, prices keep going up in the United States, they keep spending money, something is going to break, and it's going to break very soon. I think possibly what could happen, and this is what I said in the video, that there could be some sort of military activity take place in the Middle East. So this could possibly be, there's two ways to get money into the system. You can shut the world down like they did in 2020 with the pandemic, and then just flood the money back into the economy because everybody's out of work and nobody's working. So we got to put money back in the economy. And that helps. That buys them some more time because it keeps the wheels going because you keep money get pumped into the economy. Or they can start a war, and I have a bad feeling that may be possible. What goes on here? They may start a war, and I'm thinking Middle East. Some places, you got big problems in Gaza, the Middle East with Hamas. I don't watch the news that much anymore, but there's big problems going on over there. And if Donald Trump gets reelected as president, he has a real bad. He has a bad, some of these documents that he got charged with when at Mar-a-Lago, those were about attacking Iran. That's what those documents were about. So he may very well be planning to attack Iran. And of course, if he does that, that's going to be a lot of money printed to fight a war in the Middle East. And that could be a way for them to inject a lot of money into the system without quantitative easing, without more stimulus. They can inject a massive amount of money into the system by starting a war in the Middle East. So I think that's a very big possibility. That could be an end game here. That could be an end game. I got a couple people watching. If anybody wants to give me any kind of input about what I'm saying, I'd like to hear what you got to say. I think it's very possible that Donald Trump gets elected. He could very well. And Donald Trump is a huge supporter of Israel. I think his son-in-law was trying to establish some sort of relationship. He left. He put the embassy back in Jerusalem. So yeah, he's done a lot of things in Israel that they like. So he could very well, and they're feeling very threatened by Iran. So he could very well start something over there if he gets reelected. And I think to me, I don't know. Both of them were probably bad choices. The Democrats and the Republicans, I don't really care about either one of them. But if Donald Trump happens to get in, which it looks like he possibly could, although he does some of the dumbest stuff, some of the dumbest things you can possibly do, he does. He does everything that way. But then you got the other person who is ineffective too. So if Donald Trump gets in, there's a possibility we could be in a war in the Middle East very, very soon. I hate to see that because people will die, and that'll be a very bad thing. But I don't know where else they're going to go. Back the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin, start a war, or have another pandemic. I don't know. I don't know what are the three choices that they have that they're going to do. I don't know. Donald Trump, I heard him talk about Bitcoin in glowing terms. He loves Bitcoin. He wants the government to hold Bitcoin. He went on and on and on about the government holding Bitcoin. In fact, let me see if I can pull that up on Donald Trump. Let me tell you, when Donald Trump talked about Bitcoin, the price went up to 70,000. So he's flipped on this thing, because when he was president, he said, "I don't like Bitcoin, I like the dollar." But let's see what he says here.
Never sell your Bitcoin, and so As the final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%.
So he's talking about keeping 100% of the Bitcoin. So what does that mean? Does that mean that is it going to be a component of the currency somehow? So Bitcoin is somehow going to be merged with the dollar? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the way he leaves it right there. It's kind of like, hey, he wants Bitcoin, and then he says the government's going to hold the Bitcoin and we're going to keep it and never sell your Bitcoin. Well, doesn't that kind of sound like what they did with gold? Stored it in Fort Knox and kind of used it as a reserve for the US dollar? Maybe Bitcoin could be used as the reserve for the US dollar. I don't know. So yeah, when Donald Trump was talking about Bitcoin, it went up to $70,000. And I'm telling you, the day after I listened to all that, he had a big speech. Where was that speech at? It was held someplace. But he talked about Bitcoin. And man, he not only talked about Bitcoin, he was so excited about Bitcoin. He thought Bitcoin was like the greatest thing since sliced bread. You could tell he doesn't understand it. But he talked about Bitcoin in glowing terms. Don't stress. I got a couple. Let me put them up here. Here. It says, don't stress. It's all SCA. What's SCA? I'm not very good with that stuff. Don't stress. It's all SCA. You got to tell me what SCA is. Okay, let me get rid of that one. Oh, I got to get rid of it here. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got no one here. Same person. Trump will get in. Next, the banking system will collapse. Who is this person? X. I think I think you're right, man. I think that's totally true. I think Trump will get in and the banking system will collapse along with the country. I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not feeling real comfortable these days. Maybe that's why I'm starting to do these YouTube channels again. I need something to kind of get me to settle down, because I really do have a little bit of an anxiety about what's going on in the world today. I'm scared, to tell you the truth. I'm really scared. Okay, I've got somebody else saying something here. Hold on. Do you have a time prediction to the next bull run top? You know what, KP? I thought the bull run top. I think the bull run. We're in a bull run. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Bitcoin was $30,000 a year ago, and it's over almost 60 now. So we're in the bull run right now. There's no doubt about it. We have had the halving. We haven't really done much since the halving. It needs to top 100K real quick, because that's where we should be. And I'm looking for 250, 300,000 before it starts to go back down significantly until it takes a big hit. So yeah, I would say you have a time on. I would say by the end of 2025, we got to get this election worked out. Who's going to be president? Because that's going to change a lot of policy. If it's going to be an entirely different world, if Kamala Harris gets in or if Donald Trump gets in, whoever gets in, it's going to change everything. So you really can't predict what's going to happen with crypto until we find out. And we're pretty close. I mean, we're getting close to. We're in September, October, November. We got 2 months left, and that should tell me a lot about what's going to happen with when we're going to. But I would say without anybody, given the current set of circumstances, I would say 100K maybe by beginning of next year, and hopefully 200 and 250K. I mean, it's going to go up because it's got to go up because of this inflation. These dollars are getting worth less and less and less. Bitcoin cannot stay where it's at, simply because Bitcoin it's a fixed number, 21 million, and they're not all available yet, and a lot of them have been lost. So Bitcoin is very, I think it's very underpriced right now, incredibly underpriced. And it's real hard money because it's mined. And because there's only 21, there's a fixed supply. This has got to go up higher. It's got to go up higher. For making those, okay. TY, oh, thank you. I figured one out. TY, thank you making these daily. Oh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. The Hands of Valhalla. Yeah, that's very good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I like the name Valhalla. I think that's a Greek god. I'm not sure. But anyway, don't know my Greek mythology very well. So yeah, I'll make these videos as long as people watch them and people support those as Amazon links. And like I say, I got Amazon links down here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've struggled with the audience and with the content because of being involved with EOS. So now I've got to try to figure out some way to get something out of this channel so I can spend time with you every day and talk about these things. So yeah, support the Amazon links below. I appreciate it. There's a few items there. If you like something on Amazon, let me know. I'll post a link for you. So here we go. Let's get another one here from KP. Maybe I can be like, what's his name? Cryptos R Us guy. George. I'm not George. Okay, let me see. Thanks for your thoughts. I subbed to you back in the EOS days. Good to see you are still making videos. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And like I said, I'm not anti-EOS. I went into that whole thing in today's video along the beach. What happened with EOS was they raised $1 billion. The $1 billion was supposed to be used for the development of that blockchain and for supporting people to build apps on that blockchain. They reneged on that money and they took the money and bought Bitcoin with it, and all of a sudden it disappeared. There's a big lawsuit. A blockchain, people sued Block One, and there was a settlement. Some people got a little bit of money out of it. We didn't get much. We got a little bit. I think my son got a few $1,000s out of it. But basically, although the blockchain still runs, it still works. We still run an app on it, so I still support them. But they took all the money out of it. When they took all the money out of it, it was really hard for them to keep it, to fulfill the promises and keep people building on it. And that's the way it was. So I had to quit making content on it. I'd be happy to answer questions about it, but as far as that's concerned, I had to quit making content. I just couldn't keep doing it. It wasn't profitable, and that's what you're seeing. 2,000 videos and 6,000 subscribers. Not that I'm unhappy with that. I'm very happy with that, but it's just that it wasn't working out for me monetarily to keep on making videos on EOS. So, and plus EOS is like, where is EOS? I checked it yesterday. I think it was. I mean, you got to realize this is what $21. $22, $21. It's at 46 cents right now. And its market cap is 97. So we got a 97. This was in the top, it was top 10 for most of the time I was making videos. And sometimes it was the top 5 or 6. So you see that's why I'm making videos about other topics today. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks for watching the videos about EOS. Okay, I got another one here. How much longer before social credit scores and UBI? That's a good question. Not long. That's another thing they're going to have to do. They're going to have to pump a massive amount of money into keeping people afloat. And how are they going to do that if they print this money up? I hear now where, believe this or not, this is crazy. I'm in California, and California has passed some sort of law giving people that are migrants $150,000 to get into a home, buy a home. You know, I'm not sure. I just caught that real quick. Let me see what they're, but this is the kind of stuff they're doing. So yeah, there's going to be UPI and stimulus and everything else thrown at people, because guess what? You can't make $1 million a year. And that's about what it's going to take to live anymore. About $1 million a year, especially if you're living in California. I'm going to put this in. I can't spell. I'm trying to look at 2 different screens. Okay, right here. Governor Newsom and Attorney General Mona. No. What is this? Is the one. As part of today's settlement with the Elk Grove agrees to subject the future comments and with state law, housing laws, identify an additional site for low-income housing and development and pay the state $150. Oh, no, that's something else. Where did I see that at? Right here. Assembly Bill 1840, which now Governor Newsom desk would allow undocumented immigrants to apply alongside other qualified applicants for the California Dream for a all-shared appreciation loan program. The program offers no interest loans, wow, of up to $150,000 to cover down payments. Where do you think that money's coming from? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy that they're going to give undocumented illegal immigrants $150,000 to buy a home. And you got tons of people on the streets right now in these cities. Man, that's going to cause a lot of problems. So yeah, how much longer before Social Security, social credit scores, and you buy? Yeah, you can see what's happening. They're going to have to bail people out, and they got the migrants coming in, and they're giving them $150,000 to buy a home. So move to California and say you're an illegal immigrant. Okay, the Valhalla, Hands of Valhalla says, any best guess to how EOS will collaborate with? It could. That's the kind of stuff that could happen. You don't never know what's going to happen with this blockchain world. I mean, they could collaborate with all these people. They could collaborate with Ethereum and EOS. I mean, they had the virtual machine, the Ethereum virtual, running Ethereum off of the EOS blockchain. So yeah, they could. There's a lot of, and there's AI. You know, I think that EOS should start merging with artificial intelligence and also trying to run stuff on the EOS blockchain like Ethereum and stuff like that. There's a bunch of stuff that could be done. I just don't know. I mean, it takes a lot of money to build that kind of stuff. And I don't know what kind of resources the ENF has. I know they can sell tokens. They got tons of tokens. They can always mint more tokens. You know, I think they originally had 1 billion tokens. Now they can mint as many tokens as they want. But you got a 46-cent market. So even if EOS, 46 cents. So even if they do come up with these ideas of doing something like that, it could, where are they going to come up with the money? So got another one here. Will the illegals be used to police the citizens? Ooh, boy, in a full collapse. There you go, man. That could be a possibility. That's why I like to run these lives. So you got the illegal people that, you know, this is the thing. This is what's going to happen. You got my wheels turning upstairs. So every time you get a benefit from the government, $150,000, UBI, free housing, there's going to be conditions attached to that. So the conditions are going to be, maybe you are going to be used in some sort of policing the citizens. Maybe you have to do some community time. Maybe you have to do something like that. So yeah, they're not just going to give you all this stuff, you know, UBI and stuff like that, without you having to comply with some sort of government mandate or some sort of government thing that you have to you're going to have to do something for the money. There'll be some activity that you're going to have to do to get the money. There's going to be conditions attached to that money, but yeah, they're going to have to help you out because there's just no way the incomes can continue to keep up with the inflation. No way. It's impossible. So every time you get a bump from the government, you're going to be asked to do something in return. So that's the way it's going to work. So interesting stuff. Yeah. So I've been going on for about 32 minutes here, and it's 3:05 in the afternoon. I got to go pick up a pickup that's a guy has been working on, wants me to come pick it up. So if there's no other comments, I'm going to sign off here real quick. And I appreciate for the 5 people that showed up and the 2 thumbs up. I appreciate that. In fact, I think I had 7 people at one time listening to me, which is pretty incredible on 2 days worth of making these lives. But I will continue to make them as long as you continue to support me and watch the videos and use the affiliate links below. I would really appreciate it. So nothing else. I'll be signing off, and I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate your watching, and this will be posted on my YouTube channel as soon as we finish up here. Thank you.